102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. North and South Korea have reached a deal to march alongside each other under a unified Korea flag at next month's Winter Olympics in the South. It comes after high-level talks between the two countries. A naturalized American citizen who used to work for the CIA has been arrested on suspicion of passing secrets to China, and Kosovo's Prime Minister is assuring Europe his country is calm and stable as investigators hunt for the killer of a politician based in the Serbian north.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning to everyone out there, and happy Wednesday to you. It is chilly. Chilly is beyond. It's beyond chilly. It is frigid outside. So I hope everyone is bundled up and having a great start to this chilly, cold, frigid day. You're tuned into Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kabila Harden, and my special guest, who's been here before, but she was such a joy to bring her back, Mrs. Shelly Anderson from the Arkansas PTA. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you so much for having me again.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about an upcoming conference. Okay, I'll make sure I got every mic on. Okay, we're going to be talking about an upcoming conference, a legislative conference, and the title, theme of the overall conference is Advocate for Every Child Healthy. So let's get into talking about what this name or theme means for this conference.
Sure. Generally when people think of PTA, they think of just education, maybe some cupcake sales, things like that. They may not realize that we advocate for the whole child.
Okay.
And so that doesn't just mean their education. It also means many, many things, including their mental and physical health.
Okay.
In fact, we care deeply about that, and we want to make sure that that every student has the opportunity to receive any kind of health care that they might need. And there's lots of different things that we're talking about, but some of the topics that we felt were very hot after kind of talking with our parents were different things such as nutrition, sexual health, immunizations, and then of course mental health. So we've got lots of different things to talk about, and we're really excited about it.
And if for anyone who would like to follow along with our conversation and learn more about this event, go to www.arkansaspta.org and click on events. Well, is it on the no?
Yes.
It's on events on the very on the home page.
Mm-hmm.
It says it says healthcare forum.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, click on that link and it will take you to the Arkansas PTA Legislative Conference page. And there are also some other links that you can click on. If you click on Advocate for Every Child Healthy, that takes you to another page that gives you some more descriptions.
It does give you more description, but that's also where you'd register to come.
Okay. And you must register and this event is free, so why not register now to go? This event will take place on Friday, January 26th from 9 to 3 p.m. And so we'll give you more information. It's going to be in Little Rock, so make your plans early so you can go to this conference. It will be very beneficial for everyone, especially those that work with children that are in school at any age. So let's go into these different priority areas. You listed them before. There are 4 priority areas. Area 1 is physical education and physical activities in schools. School nutrition, environment and services, out of school time, healthy eating and physical activity. Has there been a decline in physical activity or quality of physical activity in schools and quality of the nutrition in schools?
My first instinct is to say no.
Okay.
However, one of the reasons that we're having this healthcare forum is to get the answers that our parents so desperately want. However, just being a witness as a parent, I can tell you that I have seen that the nutrition of the school lunches has actually gone up. And I think we've seen that under our last presidential administration. There was some legislation to try to make school lunches a little bit more healthy. Now, anytime you make a change, there's going to be some backlash, of course. We had some parents who had issues because their parents or their children were picky eaters, or maybe they felt like that there wasn't enough food on the tray. But there was some questions and some conversations that were left untouched. And so that's one of the reasons that's top priority for us. That's the very first, well, I shouldn't say top priority. It is one of our top priorities. But it's at the top of our list, and it's the first thing that we're going to be talking about that day, to try to get the answers and make sure that, that number one, our kids are getting what they need when they need it. Number two, our parents understand and their questions are answered. And number three, that our schools, our administrators, and our legislators know that we are going to advocate to make sure that these kids are getting what they need.
That's right. No child should be at school. I mean, just on the concerning the nutrition side, no child should be at school hungry, malnourished. When I say malnourished, not getting maybe a well-rounded meal, getting the things that they need to really help their brain function and grow. Right. Many people don't realize how important it is for children to get what they need, especially when they're younger, so that their brain can grow and function. And I'm not, of course, not an MD, but I have a child. Yeah. And I know when they're not getting what they need, if they're getting more sugar versus more healthier things, then anyway.
And a hungry child can't learn.
No.
When they're focusing on their belly growling, they're not focusing on their studies.
And if they're all hopped up on sugar and all these empty calories, that burns off quick. So it still does them no good. They can eat a lot of junk. They may be full for the moment, but then it's going to burn off and wear off. Right. So they're back to square one. They're not focused because they're either hungry or hyped up, or they're coming down off a sugar high.
Right. And as we well know, it's sad to say, but a lot of times that school lunch is the only meal that a child may get in a day. So why not make it, as healthy as we possibly can, so that they are getting all the vitamins and nutrition that they possibly can. I pray that one day there will never be another child hungry. Yes, but all we can do is the best that we can do to move one day at a time to make sure that we try to accomplish that goal.
There are a lot of, well, I say a lot, there are quite a few food banks and other food assistance programs that are in place to help with these gaps. But again, that only fills in a gap. Right. The child is at school for a good portion of their day. Right. So their breakfast and lunch need to be really good. That's right. Meals.
And a lot of the schools have actually started backpack programs where they send food home with the children. I don't know if it's daily or once a week, but they send home things that that even if the kids are by themselves because mom or dad has to work, they can put it in the microwave. I think they do like microwave raviolis and microwave mac and cheese. So there is some nutritional value, but they also try to make it very simple so that they know that child's not hungry at night.
Okay, so let's talk about the physical activity aspect though, and the physical education. Okay, so now we got the children eating hopefully well. Hopefully. We're feeding them, nutrient dense foods. Now we need to get them moving and put those nutrients to work.
Right. Well, in the last, I would say, decade or two, we have seen a decline in physical activity, physical education, and recess time. Okay. There's been a lot of studies kind of looking at whether they should do longer recesses, shorter recesses, but more of them during the day, whether they should have recess before lunch or after lunch, which is most healthy. And so I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's up to the individual school boards to choose how recess is going to be set. I'm not sure about legislation, and I may be saying the complete wrong thing. So if there's a teacher out there that knows, give us a call and tell me the truth. Yes. But I think the schools do everything they can to make sure that the kids get enough physical education. However, they're really mandated because they have to have so much instructional time too, and there's only so many hours in the day. And we certainly don't want to add any more time to that school clock because that's a long time for kids already.
So do you think, as a parent, as someone who works directly with PTA, do you feel, I don't want to put you on the spot, give your personal, but based on what you know, could there be some adjustment in the curriculum where that it opens up either more time, or the instructional time can be not condensed, but just some readjustments to where the child is getting everything they need, but they're not having to add extra time onto the day.
Well, I think that teachers definitely look at that, and they do everything they can to give the instruction that they're supposed to give, but also allow time for the kids to stretch and move and boogie or whatever it is that they. I've seen teachers put on a little bit of music and say, "Okay, shake your tushies for 30 seconds, whatever it takes, just to kind of work those bugs out." I mean, we have to do that. Get up from our desk, walk around, shake the bugs out. But I think that teachers know what their kids need. I think that they can see them wiggling in their seats and know that they might need to stand up and stretch a little bit. And they definitely take that into consideration. The vast majority of teachers are parents, and they treat our children as if they are their own. So they're really going to be mindful of what the kids need.
All right. So now, do you think something came to mind? I don't know. There may be some teachers who do this, and I've seen several videos where some try to incorporate that physical activity with the learning. So making them get up, not necessarily run to the chalkboard, but kind of move swiftly around the room and make their movements a part of the lesson. So maybe we could start seeing more of that.
And it makes it fun, so why not? Yeah.
All right, so again, that is priority area 1, physical education and physical activity in schools, school nutrition, environment and services, out of school time, healthy eating, and physical activity. Now, with that one, sometimes kids go home, they pile up on junk, and then they sit on the couch, play video games. We talked about this once before about the screen time. Some kids are glued or addicted to a screen.
It's definitely a new generation. It wasn't so much like that when we were kids. But I got to tell you, I'm guilty of it too. I remember going home from school and watching the Flintstones and eating a bag of Doritos, and how healthy was that? But, I think just if parents could remember that we are the ones that set the example for the kids. Okay. And if that bag of Doritos was not in the house, I wouldn't have eaten it. So I'm not blaming it on my mom. It was definitely my fault. I'm sure my mom's probably listening out there somewhere. But I think as parents, number one, if we don't put it in the pantry, they can't get it. And number two, we have to be the ones to set the example that, sometimes it's okay to have some Doritos, but a lot of times it's really okay to have an apple or an orange or some grapes maybe even some Triscuits.
Yes, ma'am. And we have had this conversation with members from the Cooperative Extension Office. There are some ways to make some better choices that are cost effective. A lot of people talk about, I don't have the money for this, I don't have the money for that. Right. I would love to see some adjustments made for people who really need the financial assistance to buy the adequate foods, that those allotments are made for them. So hopefully our people in Congress, local, state, national level, are listening and taking heed to what's being said. Yep. And making plans to make the changes necessary. Yeah. With that being said, we encourage everyone out there to reach out to your local state representatives, those that represent you not just at the state capitol, but also at the federal level. In Washington. Reach out to them, flood their emails, and make phone calls. And
just remember to do your research first. Yes. That way, whenever you do email them, you know what you're talking about, and they're certainly a lot more apt to pay attention to their constituents if the email is well thought out, well understood, and comes from an educational standpoint.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for clarifying that. All right, so priority area number 2, sexual health, sexual behaviors that contribute to unintended pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections, STI, including HIV infection. Alrighty, this is one of those, you feel like, should we start having this discussion? Or what age should we start having these discussions? And it's kind of hard. It's, on an individual basis, but these discussions need to happen, period.
I think they need to happen with Arkansas students more than we probably know. Let me just tell you some facts that are mind-blowing to me. We are number 1 in the nation for teenage birth. We are in the top 10% in the nation for teenage STDs. This has got to change. I don't know what the first step is. But my personal opinion, and I can't talk as Arkansas PTA president, I can only talk as Shelly the mom. My personal opinion is we have got to start teaching sexual education in Arkansas schools. And when I say that, I don't mean abstinence-only sexual education in schools. Yes, our children need to be told the only way to be 100% safe is do not do it. But we're humans, and humans are sexual beings, and at some point, they're going to do it. Even if it's after marriage, it's still going to happen. And even after marriage, you can still get an STD. You have to be made aware of what you can do to protect yourself. That you can go see the doctor, and you don't have to be ashamed. You know, if you're a 14-year-old girl and you haven't thought about the way that your body is changing, you shouldn't have to be ashamed to go to your mom and say, is there a special doctor that I get to go see?
Yes.
But we put so much shame on this conversation. And in fact, I'm feeling a little nervous just talking about it now, because it's not something that we were raised to talk about. It's one of those hush-hush things. But again, we're humans, and it's going to happen. So why not educate our children with all the tools that they need? I'm not an expert. I do not know what the right age is. I would think somewhere between, say, 7th and 9th grade, somewhere in there. Because from what I've read, and again, we've not had our healthcare forum yet. I've not spoken with the experts yet, but from what I've read, the actual age of teenagers who become sexually active is about 15 for the average. I'm thinking in Arkansas it's closer to 17 after doing some more research. But again, I don't know the exact answer. But these are still high school students.
Yes.
So give them the tools, give them the necessary resources, give them the facts.
For one of my class, I'm studying sociology, and so for one of my classes, we had to read a bunch of articles and, write a paper. And I ran across an article about teens' choice, basically their choice, what prompted their choice to have sex, to not. And surprisingly, in the article, those that were raised in religious homes, all were not virgins, and the reason that some that chose to step outside of that, it wasn't because, the ones that chose to remain virgins, it wasn't because of religion, it was out of fear mainly.
Absolutely.
Of not being able to talk to their parents. The ones that chose to not be virgins, they did it out of, how can I say, curiosity, but they didn't talk about it because, again, there was a fear and a stigma of being a virgin and even not being a virgin. So there's a lot of teenagers make choices. They make choices for some are not the reason that we would hope they would make them. But it was just surprising that the ones who chose not to engage in sexual activity, it was not based on just religion. And I know there's a lot of ministers that may come after me, but like you said, abstinence only does not work. I used to do some speaking in junior high schools years ago, talking about teen pregnancy, and a lot of them were very happy that me and another young lady would come and speak with them, because we were open and candid about our choices and being young moms, and if we could do things different, what would, I think it helped to open some of their minds. So, I need to make better choices in life. I don't need to do this because it's the popular thing to do. So no, and in my experience, the students that I've spoken to that actually waited are the ones that it was part of the conversation in their home. At my house, it is always part of the conversation. If they need to bring it up at dinner, that's just fine by me. Yes, inside my heart's palpitating and I'm starting to get a little bit of a sweat on my brow. But as a mom, I have to take a deep breath and say, this is something they need to talk about. This is no different than talking about their studies at schools or, whatever is going on in their lives. So let's just have the conversation. And it makes me feel so good to know that it's me that they're coming to and not their peers where they might get bad information, or Google where they might get bad information. But it's me that they're talking to at the dinner table or in our own living room as a private conversation. And again, it is just conversation. Yes, ma'am.
I make it easy for my kids. They make it easy for me.
Yes, ma'am. We need to start having these conversations, and we need to allow them to talk to us, like you said, and not react. It's just like, keep it in and scream about it later in our bedroom. But we have to allow them to open up. I have a
Yes.
son, and I had to get to a point, I had to allow him to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he shared a few things, and I'm like, okay, I wish you kind of kept that to yourself, but okay. But our relationship is better for it.
Sure.
That I have allowed him to. So I hope that many people pay attention to this segment, because we need to get these numbers down. This is ridiculous.
We do need to get these numbers down, and I think that maybe there also needs to be some legislation as well, where that education is actually taught in the schools, and it's the guideline stipulates that the actual sexual health education is taught and not just abstinence only.
No, with that, and we're going to come up on a break here in a moment, but I want to throw this question out there. With that being said, there are a lot of families who are, strict in their religion and their
Absolutely.
beliefs, and we don't want anyone to pull their kids out of school
Right.
but and we can't force anyone, because I believe one way. I can't force anyone to see it my way. But I think that there needs to be open to dialogue
Right.
concerning the reality of what's going on, the necessity of this conversation in these educational classes. I don't know what's going to happen.
I think if we get to a place where we think of it more as science and health,
Okay.
as opposed to sex.
Yes. Like, we're not encouraging teens to do it.
Right. No, we're not. Absolutely not. No, but we do need to give them the tools just in case.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so we're going to have to stop right there. We're going to take a quick break and regroup. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Harden, along with Mrs. Shelly Anderson from the Arkansas PTA. If you have any questions, give
You're
us a
listening to
call.
Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Do you know how to love your family with technology? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. When it comes to relationships, technology has developed a bit of a bad reputation over the years. But before you jump on that bandwagon, consider these 3 ways to love your family well with technology. First, Skype, Google Hangout, or FaceTime your college or career kids. It's a great way to stay emotionally connected despite the physical distance. Second, post old and new pictures of your spouse or kids on Instagram, Facebook, or iCloud. Let your family know you're thinking of them by posting and tagging old pictures. Third, start a group text. It's a great way to ensure that your entire family stays connected. So love your family with technology. And remember, your family first.
For more resources on today's topic, go to markmerrill.com.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
For almost 3 years, KLEK 102.5 FM has brought you the music you love on your radio, on your computer, and on your phone. Now, we want to bring the music to your party, wedding, or any event. KLEK now offers DJ services for all occasions with over 22 years of DJ and broadcast experience. We can also announce your event on KLEK. Need a photographer for that special occasion? We got that covered too. Package deals available. Book us for DJ, photography, or for both for your event today. Call 870-203-9951 or look us up on social media at KLEK FM.
Karaoke and photo booths with a custom design of your event are also available.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com. Meineke of Jonesboro is now Starks Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. The all-new Starks Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro, 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kabila Harden, along with Mrs. Shelly Anderson from the Arkansas PTA. Before I got cut off going to break, I was going to give out the phone number if you have any questions or comments, 870-277-1080. We would love to hear from parents, educators, anyone out there that's listening that has any feedback concerning their concerns with what's going on in school in general in relation to this upcoming conference, which is Advocate for Every Child Healthy. And again, like Mrs. Shelley mentioned, when people hear PTA, they think bake sales, fundraisers of all kinds, candles, popcorn, whatever, but it's so much more.
We're advocates.
Than that.
We
It's
are.
Parents and individuals from the community coming together to be advocates for the children on the local, state, and federal levels. Our kids deserve the best when they go to school, whether it's education, math, science, history, whatever, whether it's nutrition, physical activity, and we just got through talking about sexual education. It's so important. I know it's a touchy subject for most people. However, we need to start taking the blinders off and have these real discussions with our children. As Ms. Shelley mentioned earlier, please give those statistics one more time for those that may have missed it.
I just said that Arkansas is the top in the nation for teen births, and that we are in the top 10% for STDs in the nation. And then one thing that I did neglect to mention is that 2%, it's been reported that 2% of our students are LGBTQ. So we probably need to pay some attention to that as well.
Okay, so our children need our attention as not just parents, individuals in the community, educators, people who interact with these children on a daily basis. Let's start paying attention to our children and start trying to meet their needs, whatever it may be. Okay, so we're going to move on to priority area 3, which is immunizations. Again, this is another touchy subject for some parents. There are those that are diehard. I'm not doing this synthetic, man-made immunizations for my children. There are some who, well, my child wouldn't be where they are health-wise if it wasn't for immunizations. There is a back and forth conversation, debate, however you want to call it, concerning immunizations. But what will this conference focus on concerning this topic?
Well, mostly just to educate parents against some of the things that they heard from movie stars and through social media that wasn't necessarily true.
Okay.
And also to educate parents on newer immunizations that they might not know anything about. Like, say for instance, if I said to you, if you get this immunization, it can 100% save you from getting cancer. Would you take it?
My initial reaction is yes, but I would at least want to do some research.
Absolutely.
See the numbers,
right.
Who has been tested, the demographics, and that's me personally because I'm a sociologist, so research is my thing.
Absolutely.
So
we don't go out and buy a car without doing research. Why would we not do research for our own bodies? I agree 100%. But the new immunization for HPV is something that a lot of our parents don't know anything about. Like, for instance, most think that only girls should have that immunization, and that's not true. Both girls and boys can be carriers, and it will 100% protect them, our girls, from cervical cancer. So do your research, think about that. When they're about 11 years old, go speak to your doctor and consider that immunization.
Now, I had my son immunized for that when he was like 15 or 16.
Okay.
Way even before he started talking about being active. But because I knew the research on HPV and the dangers of it, and I knew that you can be asymptomatic and be a carrier
and
not know it. And then my thought process was long term. What if he gets married or wants to get married down the line? He's protected. Anyway, so would he need to get immunized again? He's 20 now.
I believe it's just a one-time thing.
Okay.
Certainly ask your doctor about that. But again, that's why we're having this healthcare forum, so that we can collect all of the data and all of the answers.
Okay, so what about research that's been done on immunizations for like not polio? What are some of the ones? My child hasn't been immunized for anything in a long time. So
yeah, for me it's been a long time too. Let's see. I know there was one that had 4 initials, or I'm not quite sure.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
And in fact, I am not even 100% sure if by law students have to be immunized in order to attend school. So that's something that I'm excited to learn about.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up immunization schedule. See, so while I find this information, so this particular section will discuss pros, cons, maybe dispel some myths and unveil some truths.
Yes, that's exactly what we're looking to do, is get rid of the myths and learn the truths. And that way we can share the information with our parents statewide.
Okay. And I know measles, mumps, hepatitis, those are some of the ones. Some immunizations are for
rubella. You mentioned polio. All of these diseases that are basically non-existent anymore, but there's a reason they're non-existent.
Because these immunizations.
I think so. So I think it's something that you definitely want to talk to your pediatrician about. Do your research. Don't just trust Google. But do your research and talk with your healthcare provider and make the right choice for your family. But also remember that it's not just your family that's in jeopardy. If it is something that can be transferred or shared, if you can immunize your student or your child, then you may be helping to help other children as well. Like for instance, I had the mumps as a child, and I had been immunized against that. So I'm in 6th grade. I can't understand why my throat is swollen up like I've swallowed 2 cantaloupes. And my mother takes me to the doctor, and the doctor says, your child has the mumps. And my mom says, no, she can't have the mumps. She had the immunization. Well, they told me then, and again, this was when I was 6th grade, so maybe the science has changed, but I remember the doctor saying, yeah, but like 1 or 2 in every 100 kids still gets it.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, why do I have to be that 1 or 2? This is painful.
I can't even fathom what you went through during that time.
Yeah, but, there was 98 or 99 other kids who didn't have to go through it because of that immunization.
All right, so please consider, going out to this conference just to get the information and, help open your eyes or help you solidify a decision one way or the other. We're not trying to tell you what to do.
No.
It's just gain the information so that you can make an informed decision on what you want to do concerning your child. So please don't don't say we're trying to tell you what to do. No,
and once we have our healthcare forum on the 26th, by the way, we're going to try to broadcast that live via Facebook for those that can't make it all the way to Little Rock. But once we have these answers from these professionals that are the experts, then we'll share that information as well, because that's what we're all about doing, is sharing the information with our parents that we've learned.
All right, and we'll be looking out for that as well. I may not be able to tune in at the beginning at 9, but I definitely would love to tune in and watch some of the rest of the discussions that's going to be going on. All right, and so priority area number 4, mental health, bullying, school health services for managing chronic conditions, counseling, psychology, and social services. Wow, that's a mouthful. But okay, that's a lot, but needed. Oh my goodness. Let's just tackle the first one, mental health.
That's a very large, broad subject, and in fact, I have so much to learn. I think that this is the segment that I'm most excited to learn about, because I know that there are so many facets of mental health that the average Joe might not necessarily know about, and I am the average Joe.
Okay.
So I want to know, what are our kids dealing with, and what kind of services do they get, and where do they go for these services? And then I also want to know, are they marked for life?
Okay.
If we ask for help for our children, then does that ultimately deter them from doing greater things as adults, such as joining the military or becoming expert scientist or working for NASA? I want to know what this will do to our children in the future as well. So what are they receiving now? What do they have to have in order to receive the help? Okay. And then what is it going to do to them in the future?
So if they receive mental health services while in school, would this record follow them throughout their life, and would it be, in essence, a red flag for potential employer?
As a mom, that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. Is this something that's going to affect my children or my nieces and nephews or my neighborhood children for the rest of their lives?
Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we don't want people to go on to not be receiving services.
Absolutely
they may need
not.
Just because of stigma. Like,
yeah.
So it's, you have to walk a fine line with this. Do I want my child to get the help they need, or do I want to prevent them from the stigma that can come along with receiving mental health services? And mental health doesn't mean you're crazy or like you're just something so terribly wrong with you. You need a little extra help. You need to talk to someone that can help talk you through, guide, through whatever that is going on in your life at that moment.
Mm-hmm. And I think it can be so many different things too. Again, I'm not an expert, but I think that it could be something as simple as maybe a chemical imbalance, or maybe something that was traumatic, like a bad accident, or your parents divorced, or whatever. So I think that there's lots of different factors, but I am certainly excited to learn what they have to say during this segment.
I think once people get a understanding of the definition of mental illness or mental health, maybe that'll help break things down for them so they can say, okay, I see what it is, and this is why it's important to get help with whatever the area is.
Right.
Bullying, big issue.
Yeah. I don't know what to do about bullying. I know it is a huge issue, and I know it takes its toll on our children. Something has got to give. I wish I had the answers. Hopefully we'll have more answers after this healthcare forum. But I know as far as mental health, it does play a huge role in our students' lives. And it's so much different today than it was back in our day because, you and I could go home and escape it after school unless we went back out into the neighborhood.
Yes.
They cannot. They have mobile devices and they're connected 24/7. So life is different, and it's hard as parents to know how to navigate the new norm.
Because now the way I've seen things work, most children have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and there's a bunch of other social media apps. Well, one person can send out a message and it's spread around through the whole school within a matter of minutes. Yep. Because of who's all connected to whatever social media app. And you're walking, one child's walking down the hall and everyone's looking and laughing at them. They have no clue what's going on. And what could have been spread about them could be a misconception, but still it's out there now.
Yep.
So it just takes one incident, one thing to, look at this. I'm blessed to say that we have some young ladies that go to the Nettleton School District that are working very hard to eradicate, to help knock out bullying, bring awareness to this issue.
That's awesome.
They've been on my show once before. They're going to be back again this month. They have been working so hard. They've been traveling, had the opportunity to travel. They've been hosting different events at their school. So
wonderful.
They're really working hard to stamp out bullying.
That's wonderful.
It's time to start doing something about it.
Yes,
and I think the kids are going to have more of an impact than, not that us adults can't, but I think the kids standing up for it gets other kids' attention.
Right. I do have to say, and I don't mean to get us off track, but I do worry about our culture because one of the things that we used to pride ourselves on is that those that were in a position of power, or those that were considered the people that we're supposed to look up to, we didn't have to worry about them setting a bad example for our children, and we're not necessarily in that state anymore. So we have to continue, just like we talked about with the sexual health, we have to continue to make it a part of the conversation. Yes. The more you talk to your kids, the better they feel to talk to you. So just make it a part of the conversation.
That's right. It's time to start having these open dialogues about anything. Make it a family night once a week. Okay, let's tables open, no consequences. tell me whatever you have to tell me in this moment.
Right.
You know, and we're going to leave it here.
Yeah. And especially with your teenagers, a lot of times it's hard to get that one night a week with your teenagers. So just make it known to them that, you know, they can fit it into the nooks and crannies, that your door is always open and your ears are always open, and just be there for your kids to listen and not to judge.
That's right. Please do not judge, react, because if you react, they're going to shut down.
They will.
I've learned this the hard way. Mm-hmm. I reacted and my child shut down, and it took a while for him to open up again. So, yes. School health services for managing chronic conditions. Mm-hmm. What would you consider chronic conditions?
I think that, especially with this being under the mental health panel part of the day, I think that what we're looking to get the answers to are things like ADHD and autism, and these are every day they deal with these, and what exactly does our schools and our legislators do to make sure that these children are getting whatever special needs met that they have. Again, I have so much more to learn, and that's why I'm so excited about this healthcare forum.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I hope that the area is packed to the gills with people who, just like you, who want to learn more about these various topics. Okay, we got counseling, psychological, and social services. Mm-hmm. Now, while we do see many individuals in the schools, I would love to see, of course I'm on the outside looking in, we're still seeing behavior issues and different things, some needs not being met. What can be done to help fill these gaps?
I'm not real sure. I know that a lot of these services feel like that they maybe don't have the time with individual children that they need. I think a lot of times they have to take them as a group. I think a lot of time they don't necessarily have the resources or the funding that they need. But I think that there has been huge strides to make sure that we try to get there as soon as possible. I do know that our administrators, especially here in Northeast Arkansas, we have the best schools. I hope everybody realizes how blessed we are. I came from Memphis. I love Memphis, but the education system over there is not what it is here. So please be grateful and realize that that our schools, our administrators, and I believe our legislators have our children's best interest at heart, even when it comes to their mental health.
Okay. So again, here's where parents can step up. Go to the schools, make yourself known, get to know who is teaching, counseling, or interacting with your children on a daily basis. You know, make your presence known. And then have those one-on-one times, even if it's say once a month or once every 3 months. Go see your school counselor, the school counselor. How's my child doing? Because your child's not going to always tell you. I learned that the hard way too. Go talk to the school counselor. Let them know that you care about.
That's right. Or at the very least, shoot an email. I mean, sometimes it's hard to get up to the schools, but if you have that constant line of open communication, then not only do they feel a lot better about reaching out to you, but you feel a lot better about the answers that you're getting.
Yes. What I would love to see is, I'm looking at the psychological and social services. I know some children who are seniors in high school that stress out about graduation. There could be pressures at home. They may have to work a part-time job. So they're studying, going to work, things going on at home. Their life is literally
peer pressure, possibly bullying.
Their life is literally a juggling act. So they may just need to go sit in someone's office for 15 minutes. Okay, here's what I'm dealing with. And they don't need any they might not want any feedback. They just need to release. And okay, now I can go on about my day and I'm okay. So I would love to see more of those services available to students. Don't just be so quick to write students off as, and I hate the term bad kids. I hate that phrase. Kids just need a little direction, a little guidance, a little love, a little something extra to help nudge them back in line. All right, so again, this conference is free.
Yes, it is free. Lunch will be served. However, we do need you to register. You can go to our website and, like she said, click on events and click on Healthcare Forum. Register for it. That way we have a good lunch count. And please come, enjoy yourself. If you can't make it, Arkansas PTA on Facebook, and we're going to try to stream it live.
All right. And this is going to be taking place at Arkansas Poultry Federation Building, located at 321 South Victory Street in Little Rock. Again, go to www.arkansaspta.org and click on, there's an event section on the home page. Click on healthcare forum, and it will take you to this Arkansas PTA Legislative Conference. There you can see the topics that will be discussed, the location, time, mark your calendars, and register for this event. You do not want to miss it. It's a lot of information that's going to be going down.
It will be a lot of information.
This will be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and I'm sure it'll be so well worth it. Will there be an opportunity for those individuals in whatever profession they're in to earn some continuing education hours? I don't know how this is set up.
A lot of times, if it is a school, if it's an administrator or a teacher, a lot of times we can work with the school to give them the CE credits. Okay. It's usually up to the superintendents, but absolutely, we will do anything we can to help any way we can.
Okay.
But just, if you can't make it, just tune in. We're trying to get the answers that our parents want and need.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Divorce is a difficult transition that many people go through. While the dissolution of a marriage is hard for both men and women, research shows that women fare far worse financially. Black Enterprise Senior Personal Finance Editor Stacy Tisdale reveals key pitfalls that women need to watch out for in divorce. They include failing to understand your financial picture. Some women get into the habit of letting their spouses handle the family finances, or of compartmentalizing the family finances so that while you may be expert in one area, you are out of the loop in others, such as the family business. You can't arrive at a fair settlement if you don't have a clear and comprehensive picture of your financial situation. Also, clinging to the family home. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
The key to making this station even better could be parked in your driveway right now. Donate your old car to us. You'll get a tax deduction, and we'll tow it away for free.
Go to klekfm.org for more information.
The Epic Center, located at 1899 Hasbrook Road, County Road 333, is Jonesboro's newest venue for entertainment for the entire family. They offer an auditorium with theater-style seating for up to 1,100 guests, a large stage, professional lighting and sound, dressing rooms, concessions, and more. Available for weddings, concerts, pageants, birthday parties, showers, and more. Booking and other information is available at Epic Center Jonesboro on Facebook, epiccenterjonesboro.com, and at 870-530-5841.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Harden, along with Mrs. Shelly Anderson from the Arkansas PTA. We have been having a discussion about the upcoming Arkansas PTA Legislative Conference, which is called the theme or the topic or the, what do you call it?
The theme.
Okay, the theme, Advocate for Every Child Healthy. There are 4 priority areas, and some of them are quite long, so I'm not going to read them all. But the first one centers around physical health and education, nutrition, things of that nature. The second area is sexual health behaviors, STD or STIs, Area 3 is immunizations. Area 4 centers around mental health, bullying, counseling, psychological services, things of that nature. Again, this is January 26th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Little Rock, Arkansas, at the Arkansas Poultry Federation building located at 321 South Victory Street. You must register, but everything is totally free to go to this conference. Lunch will be served, so you do not want to miss it. Any educators, parents that want to go, please make plans to go. This will be very beneficial to you. Okay, so I'm going to give you this last few moments to just wrap up and then share any thoughts or maybe another push for why everyone should go to this conference.
Well, I mean, obviously I love what I do with Parent Teacher Association. Advocating for children, I don't know if it was just a God-given calling or if it stemmed in my heart from childhood, who knows, but we are huge advocates for children, okay. And it's the whole child. So if you'd like to learn more and you can't attend with us on the 26th or you can't see us live on Facebook, then just give us a call or shoot us an email. We would love to come to your school, your neighborhood, your church, your community, and do a workshop with you to teach you more about all the things that we do. We're huge advocates in every way for the students. We totally believe in college and career ready. We believe in advocating for mental health, like we talked about earlier. We do lots of things with legislation, like recently we've advocated for the Every Student Succeeds Act. So we are about the whole child, and we are very active in the communities.
And again, I'd like to direct everyone to www.arkansaspta.org. If you click on the programs tab, there's a list of all of the things that the PTA is engaged in. We talked about these ones before when Miss Shelly was here, and it's a lot of wonderful programs. Yes. A lot of things that you all do. So I would like to encourage every parent that is able, any individual in the community, consider either starting a PTA at one of the local schools or joining already existing PTA group, and let's start advocating for the whole child, as Mrs. Shelly said, not just the financial aspect of what the school needs, the whole child, their mental and emotional health, their physical health as well.
All of it.
This one, I keep going back to this male engagement. We had a big discussion about that. I've seen more things, pop up on Facebook. One guy, I think he's a dad of a student, called for X amount of men to come out to have lunch with the kids, and the numbers that showed up far exceeded his expectation, and we would love to see more of that.
Absolutely.
I'm also we had this discussion. I had it with someone else about men in the schools. Children just light up when a man walks in the school.
I don't know what the magic is, but it is magic.
It's just, I don't know, something about that daddy factor, I guess. So we would love to see more male engagement, more men going into the field of education if possible. Children need to see a full representation of all races and genders in the schools. They need to see you. Also, there's scholarships and school bus safety. There's so many things that you all do. So if you're wanting to learn more about Arkansas PTA, go to www.arkansaspta.org. Now, on a lighter side, since we were talking about a lot of heavy topics,
we have.
Let's talk about Miss Suey.
Oh, Suey. Everybody loves Suey. So Suey is our mascot, if you will. She is a stuffed pig, and she travels all around the country, all around the world sometimes, just showing that that we are advocates everywhere. I mean, this is let's children and their education and their health and their safety and their well-being. This is a global issue, and Suey is a global pig.
And so the program is called Be a Pig, and each letter stands for something.
It does. It's an acronym for our local units to tell them how to stay in good standing. So we took something very boring and made it very fun. For instance, for the B, That means do your bylaws for the E and be a pig. The E is for your elected officials. The A is for your audit. The P is for pay your dues. The I is for your insurance. And the G is for your government reporting, our taxes, the 990s. Yuck. So all the boring stuff we made into something fun. So you can think about the acronym if you are a PTA leader and say, oh, we forgot to do our G from the Be a Pig or our A from the Be a Pig.
Oh, wow. And I see that you also have a handbook, a link to a handbook.
Absolutely.
Online.
Yes.
There's a link to the Spanish version.
Yes, ma'am.
And then there's also wonderful pictures of Suey traveling around the world. So consider getting your PTA together and inviting Suey to come and be a part of your school for the day. Yeah. Like you mentioned before, it's similar to the old-fashioned flat Stanley.
It's exactly the same concept.
I don't know if that is even still in existence. I don't know.
I don't know. Surely it is, because it was so much fun.
So, invite Suey to come to your school, take her on an adventure, and show the world, all the cool things at your school.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Share the pictures on social media with our hashtag, Flat Suey Adventures, and
Flat Suey.
It's just fun. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So there are many pictures and so much more information here. There's no dates on our travel calendar just yet. But hopefully we'll start seeing that fill up. All right. So again, that's www.arkansaspta.org. I see a link here. Stop cuts. Hashtag stop cuts to classrooms. That's something new. I didn't see that before.
Yes, ma'am. We didn't talk about that last time. That's actually a national initiative that's come from National PTA, and all of the states have happily followed suit. It is just an initiative that basically says what the hashtag says, stop cuts to classrooms. Now, there haven't necessarily been cuts to classrooms. What has happened is as inflation grows, what we give to our schools stays the same. Oh. So if you think about it in comparison, we really are cutting the funding because things are getting more expensive, but we're not giving our schools any more money.
Wow.
So please go on, look for that. It is a scroll, large photograph on our homepage. Click on it and sign the petition that you would like to see more funding in public education. Nobody's going to capture your email address. You're not going to get any follow-up nonsense. It just says that I am a parent, an administrator, a community member, a teacher, whomever, that knows that we need more funding both at the state and the national level for education.
And what I love here that it's already pre-done. All you have to do is put in your information. Mm-hmm. You don't have to. So the statement has already been created.
It's done. Just
all
sign
you
your
do
name.
is put your name, mm-hmm. information, and send.
That's it.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so I'm going to fill that out when we get off air because I don't want to do two things at one time. Even though I don't have any children in school, I know a lot of children that can benefit from more funding.
Absolutely.
Because some of the beneficial programs that get cut out, like arts, music, they're beneficial in more ways than just being entertaining.
Right. And I think sometimes, too, that we forget, because I do hear on a daily basis, well, I don't have kids in school anymore, or I don't have children yet. But you have to keep in mind that these children that are going to school in your community will someday be your community leaders.
Yes.
So support them, because everything that this next generation does is going to help us see our property levels rise or fall, our tax base rise. All of these things that this next generation is going to do is going to affect us. Yeah. So support them.
So we have to really think long term,
right,
versus the here and now.
That's right.
Alrighty, so we can't thank you enough for stopping by.
Thank you.
This conversation go on and on. I know a lot of these topics are really heavy, but they're necessary.
Yes.
And I can't tell people how to think and feel, but I just want to encourage people to open their minds and to the possibility of the discussion,
right,
and the possibility of what needs to happen.
Right.
So, anyway, I'm not going to go off into that anymore. So hopefully this conference goes off without a hitch and you feel to capacity.
Yes,
I can't wait to see and hear the reviews from this event.
We're excited.
And we definitely will have to have you come back and share some more information.
Thank you so much. It's always so much fun to come here.
Thank you so very much. And I hope everyone out there is having, hopefully, a somewhat warmer day. Stay bundled up, please. These temperatures are frigid. It doesn't take long to get frostbite, so please stay bundled up, be safe. And I hope everyone has a very blessed day. Stay tuned. Community Conversations will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the